Okay, everybody, we're back. And first of all, happy June 1st. This is a very significant day for many people. And I don't know about wherever you are, but it's beginning to get a little hot right here in Las Vegas. I mean, like hot, hot. Okay, but I was just told by the two people who've been here a lot longer than I have that this is absolutely nothing. So, anyway, but it's a nice change from that cold city. It was cold all the way. Listen, it was snowing in May in Chicago. So happy to be back. I have sitting to the left of me someone very important. Why? Because I have actually two leaders, and they're both leaders in their own way. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the Buffalo Soldiers, but we are honored today to have them sitting to the left and to the right of me. And so everybody's heard about them, right? But my purpose and my objective is to make sure that you know exactly what they've done throughout these years and what they've done in the past and what it all means. So sitting to the left of me, I'd like to introduce to you Trooper Keith Hill. And Trooper Hill, why don't you just tell us a little bit about your position and what you do with the Buffalo Soldiers?
I'm currently the president of the Southern Nevada chapter of the 9th and 10th Horse Cavalry. I've been the president for the last 3 or 4 years. It's a pretty exciting job. I'm a retired Air Force Master Sergeant from Nellis Air Force Base, and currently work at Clark County Government Office.
Oh, you're not busy at all.
Yeah, I still work for a living.
That is so awesome. That's what I love about it. And that's what I can't wait to share as we go through the story. The sacrifices that all of you make in being soldiers, because you live normal everyday lives and you have your own professions, but that doesn't get in the way of the service that you do for the community. Right. So we'll get with that a little bit later. But to the right of me, I have the vice president, and this is Trooper John John. Trooper John John, what's your first name?
That is my first name, Trooper John John.
I love it. So everybody, I'd like to introduce to you the vice president of the Buffalo Soldiers, and Trooper John John. I like to call him the quiet storm, because he's like laid back and real cool. But I tell you, this man, he has got like a lot of strength, a lot of thunder and lightning happening. So, Trooper John John, tell us a little bit about yourself as Vice President of the Buffalo Soldiers.
Well, I became Vice President when Keith became President, and basically my main role is to support him and back everything up that he needs done. I am doing the recruiting. I'm in charge of recruiting. So I do that, and welfare. I check on, we have several older members. I'm the one that calls them, make sure that they're all right, that everything's going on well with them and stuff. And any functions that we have on, I'm usually the one that's on the committee for the functions.
Oh, okay. All right. And that's very important because you guys have a lot of functions. So just for everybody who's tuning in new with us, we were honored to have the Buffalo Soldiers 2 years ago during Black History Month, where we actually, I got a chance to get an inside view and actually take the Variety Talk family with us on that inside view as we visited with the soldiers as they did their daily activities and monthly activities and service within the community. And that included going into schools and speaking to grade schoolers, high schoolers, junior high schoolers, and educating them on what it all means to be a Buffalo Soldier. Anybody can tell us what are some of the other service, some of the details in terms of what you do with service and within the community.
Well, we do all of the parades here in town. We do the Martin Luther King parade. We just did the El Dorado parade a couple of weeks ago. We do the Veterans Day parade. We've done a couple other Christmas parades in Boulder City, Henderson and Boulder City. We've done parades, but the big parades here in Las Vegas, we make sure that we're always involved in those. We done a lot of schools in Las Vegas, some churches, We've done Doolittle Rec Center. We've done a couple of nursing facilities that we go there and talk about the Buffalo Soldiers, and we have like a mobile museum that we have one member of our organization that has a very good collection of memorabilia. And we kind of take that on the road if we're inside, and if we're outside, we usually set up an encampment with a tent and a fly, and we got some old reproduction equipment that troopers used back in the day, and we usually bring a couple of horses, or at least one horse we usually take, and we ride in and talk about the history.
That was
of
fun.
soldiers.
That was fun. If we get a chance somewhere on the commercial break, we're going to send over that one with you on the horse in the drive-thru. That was pretty cool. I enjoyed that a lot. So, in essence, what the Buffalo Soldiers do today is basic. You're a walking education to society, and you're actually helping people understand by way of these reenactments who you were and what you did. So, Trooper John, just give us a little history about who the Buffalo Soldiers were.
Buffalo Soldiers were created by Congress in 1866, and at that time, white or black troops were not allowed to serve in the military. After the Civil War, they could serve during the wartime, but wasn't allowed to serve in peacetime. In 1866, Congress said, yes, we're going to let black soldiers serve.
So that's the major key right there. African Americans could serve during the Civil War, but after the Civil War, during peacetime, they were not allowed
They
to
were
be a
sent
part.
back. Actually, all blacks fought in every war that this country ever had. All the way, a matter of fact, Crispus Attucks was the first person that gave his life that started the Revolutionary War. Was African American man. So every war blacks have fought in, except we've always fought for states and militia, and it was always during wartime. And they'd always promised us that we were going to get our freedom if we did this, but they never gave us our freedom, obviously, until after the Civil War.
Interesting. So that was the carrot, the dangling carrot.
Right.
Come into war, you'll get your freedom.
Get your liberty.
Yeah.
And then right after war, you get kicked to the curb,
Right.
and there's no paperwork showing that you even were part of fighting within the service.
No.
And then when we did get to serve, they didn't know what to do with us. So basically, they sent us out west.
So you mean didn't know what to do with you in terms of what type of position you should have?
Yeah, they still did not want to let us serve with the white troops. So basically, they said, well, we'll send them out there and let them fight those Indians, and we'll let them escort and do things out in the west. Then they had to find officers that were willing to serve with us. So how did they do that? They went to West Point, just like everybody else, but the guys that served with us were from the bottom of the class, not the top guys.
Wow.
The bottom of the class, and that's where our officers came from.
Now, these officers were, excuse me, this is an ignorant question, they were white.
Yes,
White, yeah.
Okay. And
because
so
no blacks at that time
they
had been.
found the bottom of the barrel,
Right.
the lowest scoring white officers to lead these black troops.
Right.
Yeah.
There was a couple guys in history that had opportunities to command black troops. One of them was Custer, and he refused to command brunettes. Was his response. So we're kind of glad that he didn't command us. You know what his demise was. Another one in prominent history was Black Jack Pershing. And he became pretty famous during World War One, but he started off commanding African American troops, which is how he got his name, Black Jack Pershing. It didn't start off as
Interesting.
Black Jack Pershing. It started off with the N-word Pershing.
Wow,
And then
wow,
they
wow.
politicized it later and corrected it, and they called him Blackjack Pershing. But
This
it
is-
started off like that.
Amazing. So great to get the inside story. You know, that is so great, and especially about Custer. You know, Custer's
Yeah.
last stand. You hear all this stuff, but how many people remember all this from the history books? You know, so that
And,
is
yeah,
so great.
And the blacks served very well. Well, as a group, we had more Medal of Honor winners than any other group that served in the military.
Wow. So now again, boom. Let's press the pause button because that is key, and that's what's so key about the Buffalo Soldiers. One of the keys is the fact that you give us that one more time, Trooper John John.
Had more Medal of Honor winners during that time than any other organization. or any group.
Amazing. So very similar to the Tuskegee Airmen in that respect.
Yeah, well, the Buffalo Soldiers are like the father for the Tuskegee Airmen.
Mm.
A lot of the Tuskegee Airmen were Buffalo Soldiers. They went to the, I guess, the air portion
The Air
of the
Corps.
Army.
Mm.
But Charles Young, I think, and Davis, I think, was a commander,
Yeah.
and his father was an Army commander, and he was a commander of the Red Tails of the
Wow.
Tuskegee
What a
So
history.
it's just you know, an evolution and generational thing. But the Buffalo Soldiers were the first blacks that could serve the country, and then it went on from there.
Amazing.
And not only served in wartime, it's the first people that were park rangers at the national parks were all Buffalo Soldiers.
Wow. Wow.
And a lot of people don't realize that.
Okay, so here's the thing. So when we come back, we've got to take a quick station break. I want to find out now how we start getting officers involved with the Buffalo Soldiers. So we're going to take a quick station break. Everyone, you're watching WCOBM. This is Variety Talk live from Las Vegas. I'm your host, Lady Linda, and we've got two wonderful Buffalo Soldiers sitting here with us today, the President, the Vice President. We'll be right back.